We finally had a nice day here in North Dakota, so I got this transmission outside and wire wheeled up and gave it all a wipe down, lacquer thinner inside and out. Looking pretty good. Gotta vacuum out some of the pieces of wire and whatever, but looking pretty nice. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. As you've seen, I got the transmission housing all cleaned up here today. Got it rolled back in the shop. I think our next step is I'm going to take a tap and run through all the threaded holes everywhere on the entire housing. Make sure all the bores are cleaned out. Vacuum out all the little bits of wire wheel, wire and whatever inside here. Kind of give it a once over cleaning again. And then figure out what our next step is as far as reassembly, because we're actually, I think, over the hump now. We can start thinking about putting things back together and start dry fitting and figuring, what's what as far as that goes. We do have to remove these races, figure out a way to do that. Yeah, so I will check back when I have something to show you. Well, we've had a nice day here, so I've been taking advantage of the weather, and I've been starting to break down the tractor out in the yard. I got the gas tank straps off, removed the gas tank, removed the air washer and gas tank support. Broke off a couple of bolts going through there, so we'll have to get them out of the air cleaner eventually. Reason being, what I'm after here, what the goal is to take a peek into the transmission of this one. I've been waiting all winter to look at it, so I kind of want to know what we got to work with here. So I got a bunch of the bolts removed. Fenders are loose from the firewall. Working on getting the firewall loose so I can take that off, and then we should be able to pull the top cover and take a peek in there. And we also got to get that in the back of the truck and the head and a couple other things, belt pulley shaft and belt pulley in the back of the truck, and all that stuff loaded up here. I'll be heading home hopefully next weekend. Probably wondering, why am I working on the tractor outside instead of focusing on this one? Well, one, like I said, because the weather's actually nice and I can actually be outside, so that's a nice change of pace. And two, the weatherman's saying that it's going to turn back into winter in the middle of the week. We got a snowstorm coming like Wednesday-ish with potential for multiple inches of snow. So it's like, oh man, it's going to turn into winter again? So I'm just going to go outside and enjoy the nice sunny day. Not super windy. It's a nice spring day. A little cool, but I'm not going to complain one bit. So yeah, we'll come back to this. Don't worry. We're just getting sidetracked for the day is all. Okay, dash is off. All the bolts from the transmission cover are off. I vacuumed up around it. So just in case it does look absolutely gorgeous inside there, none of the junk falls in there. It looks gorgeous. Yeah, who are we kidding? It's probably going to be a solid ball of rust. Well, it's the moment of truth. Take your bets. What's it going to look like in there? I haven't looked yet. Should I be a mean guy and have a cliffhanger like last time? Ta-da! Not bad. Looks like about the same condition as the other one. Less black. Looks like there's more moisture in this one. Because there's actually still fluid in this one too. The plug was never pulled on this one. So I imagine there's probably a significant amount of water in here, but it's looking pretty good. Let me pull this cover off and I'll bring it back. Pretty happy. Looks like it's very similar condition to the other transmission as far as the gears don't look worn except for the where it's been ground into gears. You know, the edges are chewed up just like the other transmission. You probably can't see, but down in the reverse is kind of the same thing. Maybe a little bit better than the other one. Same thing, the edges, gears here, a little worn, but all in all, about the same condition as the other transmission from what I can see. Well, pretty cool. I was actually expecting worse based on the engine of this tractor, but I guess as long as these transmissions stay somewhat sealed up and they have some type of fluid in them, they stay pretty good for a long time. Well, I'm going to throw this cover back on because we're not going to do anything with it right now. I was just the curiosity. I couldn't stand it any longer. Finally had a nice warm day to check it out. Like I said, a lot of moisture in there. I'll probably finish pulling these fenders off since they're just basically a few bolts on the back. Otherwise they're just flopping around in the wind. I don't want the wind to catch them and wreck them more than they already are. Take them off and kind of restack things here. Eventually I will probably take the spindle from the tractor in the garage for the right hand side and put that wheel back together so we can have this tractor mobile, so when we do go to put it in the garage it's easier to move around, because if you remember, this one had the broken spindle on the right side there, so we'll have to address that. So one nice thing about putting together these videos is that sometimes I catch mistakes that I make. So I was putting together this week's video. This is future Jacob here, and I had shot some footage comparing the gas tank support and air washers between the two tractors, and what I said was wrong. And it made sense logically what I said, but reviewing the footage, like, no, that isn't right. So I just came back out here in the garage and I looked at them here again, and okay, so the difference, I got better back up and show you because I haven't told you yet. So this is the one from the garage here. This is the 26. That's the 25, the one out in the yard I just took apart today. So in the previous footage I had said that this was the 26 because there was only 2 holes, no third hole. Cutting costs or whatever was my logic there. But it turns out, no, that's backwards. This is the 26. That's the 25. So that came first. So they actually added this hole later on down the line. Maybe they figured they needed some more support or something. Kind of interesting. So yeah, it's like I said, sometimes you catch mistakes watching the footage. Other than that, the brackets, hiccups. The brackets are the same, except for this hole and lack of hole. So they added it. I'm not exactly sure why they added it. Like I said, I was actually thinking originally it was the other way around, where they eliminated. Because more often than not with Allis stuff, you see them eliminating things as the tractors progress to simplify, cut costs, make more money type of thing. In this case, they actually added something. So the washers are different. We will get to that at a later date. Talking with other 1525 owners, and it seems like almost always you see this style of washer with the 2 ports on the side on the later ones, and you see this style with the sight glass on the earlier ones, and that's true with this one. This is the 25, this is the 26. They're both Taco air washers. They just, I suppose Taco probably changed their design. Like I said, we'll get into that later when we actually start working on them, but I just wanted to kind of point that out. Okay, fenders are off, all the tools are all cleaned up. I gave a half-hearted attempt at putting a spindle on this side. I think we're going to have to re-evaluate our plan there, because this bore is so rusty and crusty. It was sitting in the dirt for God knows how long. But there's no way that that kingpin's going in there without wrecking, you know, the kingpin or whatever. This bolt is seized in there. I made an attempt to get that out. It's going to break off though if I twist any harder on it. So I'm thinking now the better option is probably going to be just to take apart this front axle on this tractor. We can always put the axle from the other tractor on this one just to move the tractor, because that one's already apart. We can throw it back together, mock it back up on this tractor, at least to roll it over into the driveway and whatever. Got the block and the head and the belt pulley and shaft and a couple other boxes of miscellaneous stuff that need to go home. Loaded up here, so that much is ready to go. Doesn't seem like I got a lot of footage this week to put together into this week's video, but a lot of it was just, you know, me cleaning up the transmission housing and degreasing and running taps through all the holes. A lot of boring, not much to show you there. And then today was a lot of breaking down the 25 out in the yard, getting the fenders off of that and the dash off, and taking a peek into the transmission there. All just monkey business. Getting the gas tank off here. That is one project that I'm looking forward to doing, is learning some more sheet metal work, because I intend to make new tanks, because these ones are obviously pretty roached out. I don't think they're savable, but they're good enough for a pattern at least. So as of now, I'm planning on making a form and forming these end plates, because they're the same. So if you make one, you got both, and we got at least 2 tanks here to make, so that's, you know, worth setting up to do. And the rest of it is fairly simple, and I imagine there's some type of a baffle inside. But anyway, point it is, I'm kind of looking forward to that part of the project, setting up our bead rollers and learning a little bit more about soldering and hemming these joints. And I think it should be kind of a fun project when we get to that point. And same with sheet metal, you know, the hood and the fenders. And we're a long way from doing that, but I think it'll be kind of exciting when we get to that point. So yeah, I will wrap this video up here. Thank you all for watching. Just a heads up for the regular viewers, there might not be a video on normal schedule next week, because I'll be traveling and whatnot, so I probably won't have time to put together a video, so you'll just have to sit patiently. We should have some time to do some fun stuff while I'm home though, so I'll have to get caught back up on videos once I get back home here. But yeah, thank you all for watching. See you later.